Hi, so a couple of days ago, I promised to go into this idea of making education more relevant. And I started to think about my son, who is a reluctant writer and always has been. He's never understood the purpose or the interest in telling story or writing down stories. He could get interested in writing letters and greeting cards and things like that because that's actually real for him. But writing stories was totally uninteresting, and he was refusing to do it. So I hear those parents out there who are having trouble with their kids writing, and I just want to present an alternative viewpoint to why people need to learn to write stories or why they should. And I say this because just in the last few weeks, my son got interested in making stop motion videos with stickbots. So stickbots are these little plastic creatures that come in a kit with a green screen, and you use your camera and it's like a stop motion. And as I was watching him, I realized that he was creating unique characters in each of those little stickbots, that he had a scene in mind. He was creating a storyline where he sort of almost intrinsically realized that the Kalo characters had to have a problem that they had to solve, and then it was resolved, and then everybody was happy at the end, which is kind of the whole process of story writing is like that, right? And when he was doing that, I was thinking about how he was engaging this part of his brain that's the same as when we're writing stories by hand. Is you're creating something, you're lighting up that part of your brain that has that creativity part. And the reason it might be important is because it makes us feel alive. And of course, the most important thing is that we learn to communicate with other people. We develop our voice. We develop like how we think about things through those creative things that we do as human beings. And so I just want to take a minute to say that there's other ways to do story writing without actually writing. So if your child is a reluctant writer, maybe have them do other things like making videos, or when my son was young, he got enthralled by Captain Underpants, and he really liked the story at the back of the book about the guy that wrote them, and he started writing when he was in grade 8. So my son started, or I mean not grade 8, but 8 years old, and my son was 8 when that happened. So he started drawing characters and developing these little stories with the characters, but not writing, just drawing. And I think there's different ways to get to the same result, which is helping our kids find their voice, be creative, and learn to communicate with other people and create amazing ideas out there, which is what we all want when we teach our kids how to write.